You know what, man?
Yeah.
That's that whole thing about tattoos and being a red flag just got blown up to
Oh,
more than
it's
what I
huge.
thought it would
Yeah.
ever become. It's like one of the most contentious. Like, how dare you tell me what I can and can't put on my body? It's like I'm not telling you anything. But you want to, you know, turn your body into a 3 or 4 year old sticker book where they just stick things all over it. Then that's cool. I just wouldn't expect you to be that successful finding or finding the kind of guy that you're attracted to want to lock you down. And the other really weird thing that came out this too. So we have a mutual friend that's an ER doctor, right? That's in our generals community. And he was telling me one time that there's a direct correlation between women that come in for STD tests and the amount of tattoos on their body. It's very high. It's very, very high. So there's that, which you can also add to the equation as well. Should I even bother reading the insert on this one?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's heavily tattooed and pierced. All right. Realize some men prefer women with some ink, and there will be men that will debate me on this. However, my experience have taught me that their placement and frequency matters. One tattoo hidden in her bikini line isn't too much to worry about. But if she's got a tramp stamp, and if you guys are from a generation that doesn't know what the tramp stamp is, that's the tattoo on the lower back with little squiggly things coming off the edge of it. That's more commonly updated today. Like today's version of that tramp stamp is like the chandelier hanging underneath the breast with the chain and all that sort of stuff.
That's the new version. Yeah,
that's a new version.
Rihanna made that popular.
What's that called? Or is that just like the modern tramp stamp?
I don't know. I know Rihanna. Rihanna's the one that made that popular, but that's what it is. It's like the sternum or like the rib, like front ribs. Yeah.
We'll just call it the Tata tramp stamp. How about that? Bikini line isn't too much to worry about. Or if she has a tramp stamp or more than one visible tattoo while wearing normal clothing, then you might want to ask yourself what she's saying to the world. I can't count how many formal events I've been to, Moff, where you're dressed up, you got a nice suit, a jacket, and there's always a gal or two there walking around with an open back dress. Well, there's just like a whole thing showing off. It just doesn't look good. It never really looks good on the company that she's with. Like you always hear murmurs in like on the floor, around the bar, at the table where you're sitting about the class or caliber of woman or women that this guy's with when he shows up like this. Tattoos all over a beautiful woman is like putting bumper stickers all over a Lamborghini. I'll die on that hill all day long. I think a woman's body looks far better without tattoos on it than it does with. Again, like I said, when I open, some people have a preference for ink, but you might want to check your head on that. You don't do it as it shows a lack of taste. Talking about putting bumper stickers over a Lambo. I've never met a woman with several visible tattoos that didn't bring at least 3 or more red flags to the table. Heavily pierced women is another red flag. Heavily piercing doesn't refer to 1 or 2 earrings here or something like that. We're talking about when they have like a whole like bullet hole, a machine gun shot all the way down the ear, all over the body too. Eyebrows, sternum. I'm a little akin to like the nose ring because that just looked cute when I was a younger man. But beyond that, when they go overboard with like the excessive piercings as well, nipples, belly button, clit, everything gets a little bit too much. Draw the line at earrings if you want to push the limits. A nose ring, but if that piercing's on her septum, nipple, clitoris, eyebrow, or even has multiple ear piercings up one ear, keep in mind you're dealing with somebody that enjoys mutilating their body, which is a red flag. It is bodily mutilation, for being honest. I was chatting with Elliot Hulse, big strongman guy that was huge on YouTube for a while, and I was on his podcast a couple of years ago, and the notion of tattoos, came up again, and he's like, what really bothers me about it? I'm like, tell me, Elliot, what is it that really bothers you about it? He goes, I got tattoos. He goes, but you send your woman in there and she's sitting in a chair and this guy's piercing her body over and over again because that's how they tattoo the body, right? Needles, ink, sort of thing. He goes, that's just something that I'm never ever going to be able to get over. And I don't know. I mean, what do you think about tattoos, man?
Well, tattoos in general, there's no secret that I have tattoos. I've got basically half my arm done on this side. You can't see the camera, and I have one under my bicep on my left side here. But I haven't got a new tattoo in like 8 years. And I don't know if I'll ever get on anymore. I thought about finishing like my entire right arm or getting some more, but it's become kind of like the counterculture. Now, like even a little bit of history on tattoos. Like when things first started, like you weren't getting like 80s and 90s, and even earlier. Like if you had tattoos, it meant you were a badass dude. You were in the military, or maybe you were in the Navy, or you were part of some gang, or you really were counterculture because they were seen as like if you're tattooed up, like you're not going to get a job, you are a rebel. And now it's like, man, like it is a huge deal for Gen Z and millennial men and women to have tattoos. Like it's extremely prevalent. And over the last 10 years, you just see it more and more. And there's even memes about it. It's like, every white woman, as soon as she hits 30, she gets a half sleeve tattoo of like flowers and daisies and all that bullshit. And it's, yeah, I mean, everything you talk about. What's funny enough is that back in my day, like I used to be big into girls with tattoos, man. That was like my thing.
Mhm.
I thought it was really sexy. I used to be really big into it. I was like, oh, dude, the tatted up girls. Like, but I dated like every girl that I've ever dated has had at least one tattoo. Um, and there's been some that have been relatively innocuous, and there was one in particular that was just, man, like all over her body, like both of her arms done, sternum, legs, down to her ankles. It was just, and yeah, I mean, I don't know what the direct correlation is, but there does seem to be a direct correlation by the amount of body piercings, the amount of tattoos that a woman has. That it's a direct correlation to some sort of trauma and issues with upbringing. And I think a lot of that has to do with, you talk about women, or even teenagers or teens, and it's almost always women that do this, that are cutters, that cut their legs or cut their wrists. You don't see that as much like anymore. You see women like getting tattoos when they go through these traumatic experiences, and they love to church it up and say, oh yeah, I went through something really tough, so I got a tattoo to commemorate it. It's like, well, why would you want to have a daily reminder of some crazy stuff that you went through? And if we talk about it all the time, where it's like trauma and BS doesn't build women, it breaks them. It builds men, but it breaks women. Um, I've got tattoos, but tattoos have always, for men, have always been sort of a thing. Some of the, in a lot of cultures, that you've earned, or it's shown that the bullshit that you've gone through, or the things you've overcome, you've conquered them, and it's made you better for it, not worse for it. Uh, but yeah, man, it seems that the popular thing now is this sort of sticker book thing, where these women will get these little tiny tattoos, and they'll just like put them all over their bodies, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's like, I'm going to get a pizza slice here, and then I'm going to get like a picture of a mouse here. And it's like, why? Or because I like it, because I can, and you can't tell me what to do. It's like, okay. So, and to that point, like when I see a heavily tattooed woman, knowing that most women out there like are broke, or that especially young women are broke, in all likelihood, guys, if you're seeing a heavily tattooed woman, she didn't pay for those tattoos in cash, if you know what I mean. Look, I've got a lot of respect for the guys that have done work with me, but there are a lot of really skeevy, weirdo, low life artists out there that will trade sex for tattoos. They'll trade sex for work.
All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here, where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.